What is Abyssal Deadspace? I'm Lord Surtr, and this is video 1 of my explainer series. So, Abyssal Deadspace is a series of 3 pockets of dead space, or rooms as they are often called, connected by conduit gates. So you're only able to enter using special filaments. They can drop in data sites as well, I believe, and in a few other places, as well as sometimes in caches. You can also just buy them from the market. So it is a site where you have like 20 minutes to complete, and if you die in any way in here, you are losing your ship, your loot of course, anything that you have with you, as well as your capsule and your implants, and you just end up back in your home station. So don't go in unprepared. So that being said, if you need to find the Abyss or want some basic information on it, it is actually available in-game as well. So you go to your Neocom menu, the top left, there you go for activities, click on the agency, or well, like this, and then you go to encounters, and right here it's not going to be visible, but you need to drag it all the way to the right, and all the way at the back end is Abyssal Deadspace. So if you click on that one, you see that graphic from earlier. Here it's actually a little more obvious, like the ship goes in to the first pocket, then you go, after you complete it, to the second one, then you have to complete it, which means killing everything in there before the gate even opens. Then you go to the last one, complete that one, and then it spits you back out to your point of origin. So you end up at the same point where you enter, the exact same filament. The filament trace will be visible in space, of course, for anybody who decides to combat scan it. So make sure you are in the correct clone before you enter. If you are not running implants, still it might be worth checking out where your home station is set, because if you die, that is where you'll pop, where you'll show up. So another thing to take into account is it's a set arena, like it's a pocket. Like Deadspace, Abyssal Deadspace is unstable by nature, so beyond the edges of this barrier, it is very much dangerous for anything to fly there. Both the capsule here and the NPCs. Anything that goes past the boundary starts taking incremental damage. It is, I believe, percentage based, so it does not matter whether you have a small or a big tank, or 5 hit points or 500,000. It is percentage based, so the farther you go, the more damage will stack up, the faster it will go. So it is possible to go slightly outside, but I would not advise it, because if you go a little too far, you're dead and you're in station. It's over. You only get 20 minutes to complete this. So any effect inside the Abyss also applies to any NPC in there. Any entity in the Abyss is under the effect of the weather. You and your enemy. So the conduit to the next room, the way to progress, only unlocks after you defeat all the enemies in the previous one. That does not include the loot. So it is perfectly possible to not kill the loot cans and just move on, but of course you want your loot in there. So there's also the amount of lines near the inner edges of the 3 triangles of the conduit gate. You'll see it when you encounter it. Shows you the room you are leaving. Like there will be 1 line for room 1, 2 lines for room 2, and so on. But nowadays, CCP put in a nice metric to your left, which will basically tell you the rooms you've completed, like room 0 out of 3, 1 out of 3, 2 out of 3, If you completed 2 out of 3, you know you're in room 3 out of 3, so the last room. It's very easy to follow over there. The origin gate is at the end of the 3rd room, and that is the one that takes you back to your point of entry. You can easily recognize it because it doesn't have the lines in the middle. It's basically a full triangle when it opens. So you can run the Abyssal Deadspace with one cruiser, a solo cruiser, as it says here. Any cruiser can run it, except strategic cruiser. Strategic cruisers, so Tengu, Loki, Proteus, and Legion cannot enter. Destroyers you can take 2 people in, so that can be you and a friend, or 2 of your accounts. They don't have to be the same ships. You can combine like 2 filaments, so you need 1 filament for every account or every character that enters. So solo cruiser needs 1 filament, destroyer with 2 people needs 2 filaments, frigates need 3 filaments, because of course there you go with 3 frigates, 3 characters, 3 accounts, or 3 people. Now, loot skills with the filaments you need to enter. So destroyers earn more than cruisers, and frigates earn more than destroyers, and much more than cruisers, of course. You need to be in a fleet if you want to open a destroyer or frigate Abyssal, even if you enter solo. You still need to make a fleet with yourself, because if you're not in a fleet, you'll not be allowed to jump. So there are of course different filaments and different weathers. I will go over the weathers in the next section, but there are also different tiers. So I've got Tranquil, which is extremely easy, it's tier 0. This is to get you eased into it. This is also for like just players that are just starting. You're gonna want to do Tranquil first. It is the easiest to just explain how the basic mechanics work, what the arena is like, what you need to do, as in kill the enemy to open the gate, the mechanic of popping the loot, moving on, the 3 pockets. That is Tranquil. There's not gonna be electronic warfare in here yet. So I believe the ideal DPS you want to have to complete this theoretically is about around 90 DPS to defeat everything consistently. That of course does not count for application, but that's another matter. Calm, it is said to be 150, but I already disagree, because I have plenty of ships that do like 129, frigates mostly, but they apply really well, and thus they complete it anyway. So it is guideline, like the 150 is more for cruisers, I would say. So Calm, tier 1, very easy. Easy still. You have Agitated, tier 2. Then Fierce, medium, tier 3, like it's right in the middle. You've got Raging, which is hard, which is tier 4. Then you've got Chaotic, very hard, tier 5. And extremely hard, and believe me it is, Cataclysmic. So you've got a few weather effects as well. You've got Dark, Exotic, Gamma, Electrical, and Firestorm. They each have their different effects and different fits and ships that can do each one better. Some ships cannot do certain filaments, and NPCs will also act and react differently in each filament sometimes, or have more hit points or take more damage, you know. So that is going to be the first video, so please like and subscribe. You can also check me out on Twitch and Kick, and thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.